What's up, everybody? Welcome or welcome back to Tony Reads. So, I don't know, you guys, how you pick your next thriller, but I kind of do it like a random way, and I've kind of mentioned this in other videos before. Literally, for the most part, I'll go on Amazon and just like look up top thrillers of 2025 or something like that, or thrillers similar to Freida McFadden, or I might pull up a Freida McFadden book and then see what Amazon recommends that's similar to the author or something like that. That's literally how I find my books. Every now and then I'll just Google and be like, okay, what's some good thrillers that are coming out? But it's super random. And then also sometimes you guys will put some recommendations in the comments and I'll go check those out. Sometimes I read them and sometimes I look at the summary or whatever. And I'm like, this is not something that I'll be interested in. But anyway, I don't know why, because I always hear about BookTok. I'm not the type of person that stays on TikTok or whatever. I actually don't really like being on social media like that. But I decided for some dumb reason or whatever to check out TikTok, BookTok, to see what books people are talking about. That I might check something out that's popular on BookTok, but I'm going to discuss that a little bit later. But anyway, so today's video, I'm going to give you the top 5 books that people on BookTok can't stop talking about. And this is in the order. Some of these books, actually, believe it or not, I have already read, so I'm like feeling really proud of myself. Some of them I have not read, and so let's go ahead and get this started. Okay, so the first book, number 5, and I'm gonna go backwards, is a book called The Last Mrs. Parrish, or did I say that right? Yeah, The Last Mrs. Parrish, and it's by Liv Constantine. And I was looking this up. Actually, Liv Constantine is actually 2 people, I guess, that write together. I think they're sisters or something. And their pen name is 2 names put together, whatever, and the pen name is Liv Constantine. I've actually never, ever heard of this author before, and I also never heard of this book. So see why you have to kind of like for me, I'm just secluded in this little box of Freida McFadden or whatever. It's not as I like to branch out. I've never heard of this book at all. But it is supposed to be really good, and a lot of people are talking about it. So this book is... And so this book, probably a lot of you have actually heard of it before and may have even read it because it came out in 2017. That was long before I started reading books. The book is 400 pages, and so it says it's a mesmerizing debut psychological thriller about, so I guess this author or these authors are new, kind of, about a woman who worms her way into the lives of a wealthy golden couple from Connecticut by befriending the wife and seducing the husband. Now that doesn't really sound that great to me. I'm like, how could somebody think this is such a great book? That literally just sounds like a typical Lifetime movie, not original at all. How many movies or books out there that a woman wants to seduce a husband? Doesn't sound good at all, so I'm gonna keep going. Amber Patterson is fed up. She's tired of being a nobody, a plain, invisible woman who blends into the background. She deserves more, a life of money and power like the one blonde-haired, blue-eyed goddess Daphne Parrish takes for granted. To everyone in the exclusive town of Bishop's Harbor, Connecticut, Daphne, a socialite and philanthropist, and her real estate mogul husband, Jackson, are a couple straight out of a fairy tale. Amber's envy could eat her alive if she didn't have a plan. Amber uses Daphne's compassion and caring to insinuate herself into the family's life, the first step in a meticulous scheme to undermine her. Before long, Amber is Daphne's closest confidant, traveling to Europe with the Parrishes and their lovely young daughters and growing closer to Jackson. But a skeleton from her past may undermine everything that Amber has worked towards, and if it is discovered, her well-laid plan may fall into pieces. Okay, so now I was waiting. I was like, something's got to be more than just some woman coming into a family and seducing the husband. That's like so old. That's been happening like since the beginning of books and movies or whatever. So I knew there had to be something more to it. So this Amber has some kind of past or whatever, and if it gets revealed, it's going to ruin everything. So it says, with shocking turns and dark secrets that will keep you guessing until the very end, The Last Mrs. Parrish is a fresh, juicy, and utterly addictive thriller from a diabolically imaginative talent. So it says with shocking turns and dark secrets. A lot of thriller books in the description say that, but this one has gotten me really curious because people talk about it so much. Number one, I'm curious about this author because I've never heard of him, and with this generic of a storyline, I'd be real curious about what the plot twists would be. So yeah, I might actually check this out. It's 400 pages. That's kind of a lot for my taste or whatever, but I might actually check this one out just to do something different. Okay, so the next book, number 4, is called Behind Closed Doors, and it's by an author named B.A. Paris. This book, this is another old one that was way before my time of reading. This book came out in 2016. So a lot of you readers may have read this already or heard of this book. I never heard of it. I never heard of B.A. Paris at all. Again, another one that's just really new to me. So this one has 351 pages, so that's more in line with what I like. Let's see what it says. Everyone knows a couple like Jack and Grace. He has looks and wealth. She has charm and elegance. I can't read. Let me just start all over. Okay. He has looks and wealth. She has charm and elegance. You might not want to like them, but you do. Though you like to get to know Grace better. But it's difficult because you realize Jack and Grace are never apart. Okay, so that's kind of weird and creepy. I want to see where this is going now. Some might call this true love. Others might ask why Grace never answers the phone. Or how she can never meet for coffee even though she doesn't work. How she can cook such elaborate meals but remain so slim. And why there are bars on one of the bedroom windows. Sometimes the perfect marriage is the perfect lie. Now, this one apparently is like a best of BookTok. Like I said, apparently when it first came out, it just really blew up, whatever. Like I said, it's before my time. You know, there's books like this where there's like a wife trapped. There's several stories I read, like The Wife Upstairs, you know, there's some kind of story. But this one, I'd be really interested to find out what kind of plot twist it was, because it gets such great reviews. It can't be that boring where just a husband is overprotective or jealous or crazy or whatever, just keeps his wife locked up and there's bars on the window, something like that. There has to be more to it, and that's what actually has me more curious about it. It's like, I know a book didn't blow up like this just because a husband doesn't let his wife, you know, have a social life or whatever. That's boring. That's just like another Lifetime movie. So this one, again, I might check this out of curiosity, but hey, a lot of people love this book. Okay, the next one, number 3. Actually, a lot of you have recommended this to me. A lot of you have recommended this to me. And I never, for some reason, got around to reading it. I don't know if I looked at the summary and it just didn't look interesting. But I already know this one's very popular. I've heard of it so many times. And that is Verity by Colleen Hoover. Colleen Hoover, I think, if I'm not mistaken, she's a very popular author. But she used to do only romance or something like that. And I guess she moved into thrillers, or maybe this is her only thriller book or whatever. I mean, probably everybody that's watching this video that likes thrillers probably has read this book except me, because I hear about it so much, and it does not surprise me that it's all over BookTok. So this one, again, like I said, I don't know. I don't know why. I never read it. It only has 336 pages, so it's not even that long of a book or anything. This one came out in 2021, so it's kind of old. You know, again, not too old, but kind of old. Let's see what it says. Whose Truth is the Lie? Stay up all night reading the sensational psychological thriller that has readers obsessed, from the #1 New York Times bestselling author of It Ends With Us. I don't care about any of that. Okay, so here's what it's about. Lowen Ashley is a struggling writer on the brink of financial ruin when she accepts the job offer of a lifetime. Jeremy Crawford, husband of best-selling author Verity Crawford, has hired Lowen, I guess that's how you pronounce the name, Lowen, to complete the remaining books in a successful series his injured wife is unable to finish. Okay, a husband and an injured wife. I've heard this story before. I think in like The Housemaid's Secret, there was some kind of, you know, plot like that or whatever. The wife was injured or whatever and trapped in a room, and the husband is doing all the business or something like that. I don't know. I've heard this storyline before. Lowen arrives at the Crawford home ready to sort through years of Verity's notes and outlines, hoping to find enough material to get her started. What Lowen doesn't expect to uncover in the chaotic office is an unfinished autobiography Verity never intended for anyone to read. Page after page of bone-chilling admissions, including Verity's recollection of the night her family was forever altered. Okay, this just totally leaves like a cliffhanger, and I don't know if I just never took the time to read this, or I don't know of the fact that Colleen Hoover used to write romance books. It was a turnoff for me because I despise romance books. I don't like romance movies or anything like that. And so I don't know if that was a turnoff to me, but this book actually sounds pretty good and something that I would be interested in reading. I mean, people have been, since I started reading, since I started this channel, people have been telling me to read Verity, and I just never picked it up. I normally wouldn't care about somebody leaving some pages or a diary or journal, reading it, somebody finding it and reading stuff like that. I've read that whole storyline before, whatever. It gets old. And I don't care about the husband was cheating or anything like that. But when you say the word or the phrase bone chilling, that makes me think there's more something sinister like murder or something like that. And so that does make it more interesting to me. And the night her family was forever altered. I really want to know what that is. So I'm going to go ahead and check out this book, Verity by Colleen Hoover. Okay, the next book, I'm kind of mad that this book is even on this top BookTok list, but everybody else seems to love this book. It was recommended to me, I don't know how many times, by people commenting on my videos and stuff, like over and over and over. And I did actually read this one. This book was so horrible to me that I wanted to DNF it, but at that time I was kind of a newer reader and I was like, I'm gonna give everything a chance that I pick up or whatever. And that's back then. I wouldn't DNF anything. Nowadays I will absolutely DNF a book if it's not good. So I read this whole thing. I just don't see what's so great about it. I did not like it at all. For me, it was probably one of the worst books that I ever read. And that is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelades or something like that. Okay, so this book, for those of you who haven't read it, it has 336 pages, so it's the right length. It wasn't too long, but it was so boring. And he tried to make like all these twists and stuff, and it was just like too much description, too much just getting to the point of the storyline. The plot twist was okay, but to me it was actually kind of predictable, and I just didn't like it. So for those of you who don't know what this book is about, Alicia Berenson's life is seemingly perfect. A famous painter married to an in-demand fashion photographer. She lives in a grand house with big windows overlooking a park in one of London's most desirable areas. One evening, her husband Gabriel returns home late from a fashion shoot, and Alicia shoots him 5 times in the face and then never speaks another word. I know it just sounds crazy, and you're like, oh, you're giving all the book away. No, that's just like the very beginning part or whatever that kind of sets the rest of the story. Alicia's refusal to talk or give any kind of explanation turns a domestic tragedy into something far grander, a mystery that captures the public imagination and casts Alicia into notoriety. The price of her art skyrockets, and she, the silent patient, is hidden away from the tabloids and spotlight at the Grove, a secure forensic unit in North London. Another reason why I didn't like the book, outside of it just being boring to me, I don't like books where somebody can't talk. I just don't like that, really. In one of the books that I just mentioned previously, I think they said that somebody was injured, and I don't know if they could talk or not. But it has, for somebody not be able to talk and they're expressing themselves in art and all that kind of stuff, the book has to be really, 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 really good for me to like it, because I just don't like that theme. Theo Faber is a criminal psychotherapist who has waited a long time for his opportunity to work with Alicia. His determination to get her to talk and unravel the mystery of why she shot her husband takes him down a twisting path into his own motivations, a search for the truth that threatens to consume him. Now, reading this summary, it might sound really intriguing and everything to people. I can see why people reading that would like it, but to me, it was boring. It just dragged and dragged and dragged. I felt like he could have got it done in like literally 100 pages or less or something like that. I just didn't like it. But that's just me. Apparently, a whole bunch of other people love it. So you might, based off of what I said or whatever, hey, a lot of people love it. You might want to check it out. Okay, the last book is last, but definitely not least. And anybody who knows anything about thrillers would definitely understand why one of a book from this author wouldn't be on the list of the top 5 BookTok thrillers. And that is none other than The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. Probably anybody who's watching this video or anybody who reads thrillers has probably actually read that book. I take that back. A lot of people I'm in this little group, whatever. A lot of people haven't even read it yet. They just know Frida McFadden is popular right now and they want to check it out soon. But The plot of The Housemaid is Millie takes a job as a maid with a family that's rich and seems like the perfect family ever. And Millie does have a past and everything, and that her past comes to play later on, in the story, whatever. The wife's acting crazy. The daughter's a little brat. The husband seems like he's perfect and everything, but of course, everything that I'm saying is not as it seems. For those of you who may not have read The Housemaid by Freida McFadden yet, I don't want to give any of the plot twist away and tell you why this or that or whatever, so I'm not really going to speak on it. I just highly recommend that you read that book. I actually recommend that you read all the books in the Housemaid series. It's The Housemaid, The Housemaid's Secret, The Housemaid's Watching, or something like that. I don't know if I got them in the right order. Anyway, they're really good. To tell you the truth, I actually like the second Housemaid in the series better than the first one. But a lot of people disagree with that, but I don't care or whatever. But yeah, I definitely think if you like thrillers, whatever, I highly recommend Freida McFadden to you. She's actually my favorite author. Highly recommend the whole Housemaid series. Definitely understand why it's all over BookTok. It's actually all over everywhere right now. Freida McFadden, and there is, for those of you who don't know, there is a movie coming out on Christmas Day, I believe, is when it's gonna premiere. The Housemaid, they're making a movie out of it. So I'm really excited about that and can't wait to see it. I hope they don't butcher the story by making a movie. But anyway, yeah, those are the top 5. There's other people, BookTok is like crazy, or other people's opinions. Like if I was giving my top 5 thrillers, probably the only one that would have made it on here was The Housemaid or whatever for me. But difference of opinions. There's millions of little videos or whatever on BookTok. So if you're struggling to try to find books to read, you can watch my channel or some other booktubers, or just look on BookTok and see what's out there and everything. But I just thought it was kind of interesting that these books were all over the place, especially Silent Patient. I didn't like that one at all. Don't understand why it's on there. But anyway, and it helped. I will check out TikTok probably a little bit more to see what everybody's reading and find out about some thrillers, because it kind of put Verity back into my mind again. I do want to actually really read that book now. But anyway, so if you like this video, thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the notification button so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. I always take recommendations, so go ahead and drop some recommendations in the comments. And also, if you have a top 5 thriller list of all time, go ahead and drop that in the comments as well. I'd be curious to see that and see if there might be even some older books. Because I start reading new stuff that comes out. I try to keep up with that, but there's some hidden gems back from 5, 6, 7 years ago that I also want to check out as well. So go ahead and drop those in the comments. And I will see you in the next video.